September 7th, 1812. Borodino, Russia. The ground is soaked from dawn rain. Rows of French cannons glisten. Over 130,000 soldiers of Napoleon's Grand Army stand in tight formation. Muskets ready, drummers pounding like thunder. Russia's fate is about to be decided by bayonet, cannonball, and sheer audacity. But something's wrong. The sky rumbles, but no storm clouds. Just a shimmer. Then, a blur cuts across the clouds like a silver ghost. The drummers stop. Horses rear. It's not divine wrath. It's an F-35 Lightning II. A fifth-generation stealth jet flying over a battlefield where the most advanced tech is still flintlocks and horses. And somewhere in that cockpit, a pilot is thinking, wait, am I early? Or 200 years too early? So here's the question. Could one fighter jet change the fate of an empire? Or would Napoleon just build a bigger hat and keep marching? Let's find out. The F-35 Lightning II is not just a jet. It's the flying Swiss Army knife of modern air power. Top speed, 1,200 miles per hour. That's Mach 1.6. It's built with radar-absorbing materials, internal weapons bays, and a helmet system so advanced the pilot can see through the plane. Literally, pilots can look down and see the battlefield through the floor. Weapons load out, 2 AM-120 AMRAAM air-to-air missiles, 2 2,000-pound JDAM GPS-guided bombs, a U-22 cannon, and a sensor suit that makes Napoleonic scouts look like confused mall cops. Range, about 1,300 miles with internal fuel. Maintenance? Oh yeah, it needs a whole airbase and an IT department just to boot up the targeting software. Compared to anything Napoleon has, it's like a dragon showed up to a musket fight. A dragon with auto-aim. And just for fun, this fighter costs $80 million. Napoleon's entire army budget might not cover the wing. Let's meet the poor souls it's about to face. Napoleon's Grand Army is staring down the Russian Imperial Army just west of Moscow. Size? Napoleon commands around 130,000 troops. The Russians field roughly 120,000. That's over 250,000 men in one massive meat grinder of muskets, bayonets, and cavalry sabers. Weapons: flintlock muskets with 3 to 4 rounds per minute on a good day. Cannons that are deadly but slow, loud, and horribly inaccurate. Cavalry sabers and lances, elegant, terrifying, and completely useless against stealth. Tactics: formations and lines of red-faced men firing volleys in unison. Marching through smoke and cannon fire on a muddy field. Strengths: numbers, discipline, sheer determination. Weaknesses: zero air defense, no radar, no understanding of what just exploded and why did it come from the clouds. So when a flying death machine from the 21st century drops into the middle of this, it's not just unfair. It's about to be the most confusing thunderstorm in military history. And now the clouds roll in. The F-35 punches through the clouds at Mach 1.6, invisible to any eye, human or horse. On the ground, Napoleon's men are preparing for another brutal day of cannon blasts and saber charges. But then, a deep roar echoes overhead. Not thunder, but something hotter, meaner, and way more American. Suddenly, the sky erupts in fire. A 2,000-pound JDM glides silently, then detonates in the center of a French artillery line. 1 second, there's a battery of 6-pounder cannons. The next, there's a smoking crater, a few boots, and a very confused horse. Troops dive for cover. Some pray, some run. A few start screaming about angry sky gods. Napoleon himself is seen frantically peering through a spyglass, shouting something about sorcery and demanding someone shoot it down. With what exactly? No one knows. Then comes the second strike. A Russian infantry division mid-march is vaporized from above. They never heard the bomb. They never saw the jet. It's war from a dimension they don't understand. And it just started raining precision death. And trust us, the cavalry did not train for this. But even modern gods have weaknesses. The F-35 isn't magic. It's a logistical diva. For every hour it flies, it needs hours of maintenance. And Borodino, 1812, has no runways, no fuel trucks, and absolutely zero qualified mechanics. Its internal fuel tanks? Good for about 1,200 nautical miles if it's cruising politely. In full combat mode? Cut that in half. Ammunition? Sure, it's carrying precision bombs and air-to-ground missiles, but once those are gone, it's basically a very expensive glider with Wi-Fi. And don't even get us started on software updates. This bird needs more digital hand-holding than a teenager on TikTok. It dominates, but only briefly, because even a stealth bomber from the 21st century can't escape the one enemy that always wins: time. Napoleon's Grand Army is built on discipline, maneuver, and morale. The moment a flying ghost drops bombs from the clouds, that entire system cracks. Survivors whisper of thunder that hunts men. Columns scatter. Horses bolt. Commanders vanish beneath falling fire. Word spreads faster than cavalry, even to Moscow. Some believe the Tsar summoned a new weapon. Others think God changed sides. Could this turn the tide of the invasion? Yes, but not the whole war. Russia's size. It's winter. And its scorched earth tactics don't care about fancy jets. And here's the kicker. What if Napoleon captures the wreck? You better believe he'd assign his best minds to study it. Would they figure it out? Not likely, but they might try to copy it. With horses, pulleys, and an unhealthy amount of optimism. This clash between future tech and the Grand Army? It doesn't have just one ending. Could go three very different ways. First, total annihilation. The F-35 sweeps the battlefield clean. Artillery batteries disappear. Supply wagons explode. Morale shatters. Napoleon's army doesn't just retreat, it flees. Borodino ends before anyone finishes breakfast. Is it possible? Maybe, but only in the best timeline. Second, temporary supremacy. Far more likely. The F-35 dominates for a few days, striking fast, vanishing faster. But modern jets don't run on magic. The fuel runs dry. The weapons are spent. And what was once an invisible nightmare is now a stranded machine, surrounded by 100,000 soldiers with pointy sticks and a score to settle. It wins the fight, but not the war. Third, glorious failure. Maybe it's engine trouble. Maybe it hits a goose at Mach 1. Either way, the jet crashes. Napoleon claims the wreck like a dragon hoarding treasure. His engineers poke at it with 19th century tools and dreams. They try to build their own. It doesn't fly, but the legend does. For generations, they'll speak of the iron bird that screamed from the sky, because in the end, they weren't gods, just men. Men who brought thunder to a musket fight. For the soldiers at Borodino, the F-35 becomes myth. Some say it was a thunderbird. Others, a divine chariot spitting flame. The survivors tell stories of a sky demon that turned men to dust and fire. Children grow up fearing the day it might return. And for history, it's a footnote no historian can explain. An unidentifiable wreck in a field, melted beyond comprehension. The truth? Technology can rewrite a chapter, but not the whole book of war.